Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, the 2025 National League Cy Young winner, Skenes.
As cool as the award is, I think that's probably the coolest thing about tonight, getting to get introduced by Doc Good. First, I want to say thank you to the Writers Association for this event. Put together a great event last year. It's a great event now. Baseball would not be where it is without you all, so thank you. This award is equally mine as it is everybody who's poured time and energy into me. I'll be up here talking for a very long time if I got to, mention everybody that had an effect on me throughout my career. But so those of you who are in my corner, you know who you are, and thank you very much for that. My family, thank you for being my foundation. Growing up, baseball is the only sport I've ever played, and it's pretty much the only thing that I've been passionate about for 23 years now. So the early mornings, the long drives, the tough conversations that we've had, and the constant support, thank you. You taught me how to work, how to stay grounded, and how to never take any of this for granted. So thank you. To my teammates, this is a team game. This game is impossible to do alone. You make me better with the work that you do every day and playing with me for 162 games. My biggest goal every day is for my work to make you all better, the same way that you make me better. I can't have any success without you competing behind me and having my back. I mean it when I say that this award is equally as much yours as it is mine. And everybody else in my corner, everybody else on my team, thank you. On my team, all my trainers, all my coaches, chefs, everything. Thank you. Like I said, you know who you are. Let's keep pushing. Obviously, there's been some time since I won the award, and now, so I've had some time to think. And with this being the Baseball Writers Association of America's event, I've had some time to think about what writers mean to this game, what they've meant to me. They have a very interesting job. They come into the clubhouse every day and ask you questions, whether you played well or poorly. And a lot of the times they ask you questions that make you think about yourself. And one thing that I've thought about a fair amount, based on some of the questions they've asked me, is what I would want to say to the young players and the fans out there. And so to whoever's watching, I want to say this. No matter where you come from, no matter how long the road feels, no matter how many times you hear not yet or not possible, keep going. Bet on your work, trust the process, and don't let anyone else define your ceiling. I'm here right now because I don't understand the word can't. Thank you all. This is an honor that I'll never forget.
Here to tell us about the 2025 National League Manager of the Year is former All-Star third baseman Pedro Alvarez.
Good evening. I'm Pedro Alvarez, and if the name sounds familiar, the Detroit Palomalo hair is throwing you off. Yes, I used to play for Pittsburgh and the Orioles. Tonight, I have the honor of introducing my father-in-law as he accepts his second consecutive National League Manager of the Year award. To people outside of baseball, Murphy's rise to manager legend might seem fast, maybe even surprising. But for those of us lucky enough to have a front row seat, we've known for decades what happens when Murph enters the ring. Murph has always had a big personality. This is a man who used to box, believes pocket pancakes are a perfectly reasonable travel snack, and somehow has kids who ages range from 40 to 7, which means he's coached every generation, including his own family. And yes, Murph used to box. If you didn't know that, don't worry, he'll probably bring it up. When I met Kelly, my wife Kelly, almost 20 years ago, Murph was already one of the best and most successful college coaches in the country, with incredible careers at Notre Dame and powerhouse ASU. Even though he didn't recruit me out of high school, I always admired the way success followed him, and more importantly, followed the people who played for him. When Murph faced a devastating blow that forced him to make a career change, he didn't chase headlines or attention. He quietly and humbly found his way back to impacting the game he loves. What we now call the Murph era of baseball started in short season games in Eugene, Oregon, and was forged alongside veterans and rookies in AAA El Paso. When his longtime friend and former player, Craig Counsell, asked him to join the big league staff in Milwaukee as a bench coach, Murph accepted with the same eagerness and curiosity that defined his entire career. The Murph era might look like bunts and PFPs, but that's not the real philosophy. The real lesson is showing up for the people around you. A dugout full of average Joes and bringing your best self every single day. It's getting knocked down and having the strength to start over. It's the win tonight mentality, no matter where you are or who you're playing. Murph has a lot of sayings, but one that's always stuck with me is this: it's not where you're going, it's who you're bringing. I'll admit, when Murph started coaching again in short season ball, I wasn't sure that where he was going would be in this room 2 years in a row. But there was never any doubt that Murph would be the kind of person who deserves to be here. Because Murph wins at every level, and he does it the right way, by being present, by lifting others, and by making everyone around him better. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, your 2025 National League Manager of the Year.
Pedro, thank you very much. He hasn't always been so good to me. Silver Slugger winner, All-Star, led the National League in home runs. But in 2015, when his father-in-law got a chance to be in the big leagues for the first time, he had to hit a 2-2 changeup down, missile past the second baseman to walk it off, and kind of look at me as he ran to first. Like we might be family, but this is what I do. Homegrown New York kid. Shout out to his parents. Did an incredible job. The whole Alvarez family. His sister Jelena, who works for MLB. And yeah, Pedro, thank you very much. Special for me. I'll try to be brief. I never am. Baseball Writers Association, thanks for what you do for baseball. I'm not quite sure what it is, but thank you. Shout out to the '86 Mets. You know, I was never good enough to play against the '86 Mets, but I played against '83 Lynchburg Mets. Where's Doc? About it, Doc. Doc started 0-3 and then won 19 straight. Dykstra was your center fielder, like 150 pounds, remember? Yeah, I couldn't get him out. Yeah. Great job, 86 Mets. All right, we're wondering now. I want to be brief. Where's the picture? What do we got? There it is. Okay, you guys remember Coming to America, right? Put up the other guy, the real guy. King Joffrey. Joffrey Joffer. There he is. The king of Zamunda. So here's the story behind it. This was going to be my outfit tonight. Go back to the other picture. Where's Judge? I thought it would be funny. You know what I mean? These guys are so athletic looking and so much history, and who am I? I figured, yeah, I'll be funny. Well, we couldn't get it done in time. Vogt and I decided last year we were coming in Dumb and Dumber tuxedos. You remember those? We chickened out. Anyway, yeah, I want to talk about the 25 Brewers. You know, starting from our ownership and Mark and Debbie Attanasio, our front office, I call them the Ivory Tower. They've never made a mistake. Matt Arnold leads the minions there. It's beautiful. It is a real family atmosphere. We have to thread the needle. But I think about the most important thing, and that's those players. And I think about the 25 team, and we got off to an unbelievable start. You guys remember the Yankee series? Judge didn't hit a ball below 105. He had like 7 homers in the first weekend. We had the biggest run differential in baseball history. True story. After 4 games. We got beat 11-0 on our home opener. It was beautiful. So I thought I was going back to college for sure. But they responded, you know, and a great leadership. We got a guy named Yelich. We had another great leader and a guy named Freddie Peralta, who you guys might get comfortable with. They were hungry. They were aware. And you mix that together, hungry and aware, good things can happen. And to see their faces early, and people say, what's your biggest memory? To see their faces early in the year, and they didn't really believe, some of the young guys, all of them under 5'9". But yeah, the Brewers contingent was going to be here tonight, but couldn't because we're spending on money on lowering the soap dispensers in the locker room. Because we just picked up one of your prospects, Jet Williams. He's like 5'5". That's how we roll. No, but it's a beautiful thing. 25 Brewers, I'm going to tell you the truth. This Manager of the Year thing, I mean, again, I don't know what you writers really do anyway, but like this is about the organization. This is about the players. I had an amazing group of guys that were hungry and aware and wanted to win. And it was their priority, and it never wavered. And they turned it around and did a great job, made me look good. And I'm very thankful to them, first and foremost, our front office, our ownership, and I guess the writers. But I'll close with this. The special night for me, I've got a New York family and I've got an Arizona family, but they're all here tonight, every one of them. The aforementioned, I appreciate that, Pedro, mentioning my children. Also, my 2 grandchildren are here. And I'd have a little smoother speech if I didn't have to spend a whole bunch of time educating on my 2 young children why some of their nieces are older than them. Yeah, from every different country, every ethnic background, the whole Murphy family. It's the most important thing in my life. My 4 children, beautiful Kelly, who gracefully just turned 40. Kelly, stand up. Kelly, please. Kelly, stand up. My son Kai, 25, minor league player, on his way. My son Austin, 11 years old. Raise your hand, Austin. My son Jackson, who's 6. my two beautiful grandchildren, Lucilia, who's 10, and Nayli, who's 5. I couldn't be more proud. I'm so thankful. They can teach you a lot in this game, and I'm so very grateful and thankful to be in the game overall. And I thank you all very much.
Here to present the Joan Payson Shannon Ford Award for Community Service, please welcome Erin Boone.
Thank you. It's always an honor to be here. An event that goes back, I don't know how far it goes back, but I know this is a really big deal in New York City, and it's always an honor to be a part of it, to be a part of the dais, to be around baseball royalty here on the dais, but out there in the audience as well. I get to talk about Carlos and Ashley Rodon tonight, and they are receiving an important award, I want to get this Payson Ford Award for Community Service, and I want to get to that in a minute, but I want to talk a little bit first about Carlos, the player. You know, you look at this table here and you see obviously a lot of great players, great at what they do, a lot of baseball royalty, as I said. But I also know each one of them, every single year, or at different points in their life, and I know everyone out there, and whatever your walk of life is, you're going to deal with adversity. And how you handle that adversity goes a long way in defining what kind of success you're going to have at this profession, which can be very difficult. And we brought Carlos in 2023, signed a big contract, 6-year deal. He's this big guy we're bringing in, and he struggled. It was a tough year, man. He had some injuries, some minor things, so he's kind of playing catch up the whole year, and it was rough. It was tough. And, and then all the noise starts like, man, he can't handle it here. How's he? And now I get to see how he handles this. And one of the things that I admire so much about players, and in this case Carlos, is he stood and faced adversity and handled it. It was hard. And you know what he did? He accepted it. He was accountable to it. He went home, stuck his nose down, and got to work and got better. And worked on, through his perseverance, through his toughness, through his talent. And he came back the next year and answered every critic. And for 2 years now has returned to being one of the best pitchers in the game. Over 370 innings the last 2 years, 34 victories, and is an absolute pillar in our rotation and now in our clubhouse and in our culture. And it's how he dealt with failure, how he dealt with adversity is what I admire about him and so many of these guys up here, because it's coming for you and you got to be able to handle it. And Carlos showed that he can, and he did it with passion. And speaking of passion, man, Ashley has a lot of passion too, if you know Ashley Rodon. And one of my favorite things during the year is when Carlos pitches, Ashley is usually within an earshot. And, I sometimes got to rein Carlos in because he can get passionate and emotional, and Ashley's up there, come on, Los, lock it in, and I'll hear her voice in the stands, like she's getting after it with them. And I love it. She's in the trenches with them. And you can tell the closeness they have and their family ties that they have. And, I think together they're a powerful force. And they've become a very powerful force in the community. And why they are being honored tonight is for their community service. The Carlos Rodon Foundation does so much good work. And the passion you see from Carlos on the baseball field, he's taken his platform and poured it into community service and his life away from the field. And what he and Ashley are doing with the Willow Grant, helping families realize the goal of having children, which is one of those things that's not talked about a lot, but infertility can be a real struggle for families. And they've taken their blessings and some of their personal hardships and poured it into that, and I know have raised so much money to help families realize the dream of having children. And also their work with the Wild Wanderers, which helps underprivileged kids and their families set down their devices, get outdoors. They have a love of the outdoors. You know, Carlos loves to fish and hunt and do all those things. They take and help these families realize the power of the outdoors and how empowering that can be for families, and the work they've done there, and just with the entire Carlos Rodon Foundation is admirable. It's always awesome to see these guys use their platform for good, and they certainly are. And they put their money where their mouth is, and they roll up their sleeves too and dedicate their time and hard work to these causes. So without further ado, I want to bring up Carlos and give him the Pace and Forward Award for community service.